So a friend of mine gave me a candle, which looks like an apple. And I think it fits perfectly for the topic we're having today. So I saved it for this video, the forbidden fruit. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Usually I have a filming schedule for each week. I decide at least 1 week earlier about what topic we are discussing today. But today, I think, at least for this week, we are diving spontaneously. Because today I want to talk about something that was not in my filming or reading schedule. Dark romance. We're still going to talk about some books, and as usual, I will put it in the timestamp. So if you were only in for the books, you can just click in. But I think this will be a slightly different video than we had before, and I hope you like it. Now, I want to start with explaining where I get the idea of doing this video. For about a year, I am a subscriber of an erotica roleplay audio platform on Patreon. I won't say the name for the sake of everyone, but I think they're doing a brilliant job. And I'm happy to support original content. So if you want to know which name it was, please comment to ask. The platform provides a variety of erotica audios, about hundreds of them actually. Friends to lovers, enemy to lovers, second chance, mafia, werewolf, dark romance, romantasy, historical romance, you name it. They were the best comfort audios after a crazy week of work, or when you woke up at 3:35 in the morning screaming from a nightmare. Last Monday, so February 10th, I listened to a jaw-dropping episode where 3 of the most popular actors act in one audio together, as it was a story about a poly relationship. When I was listening to it, and I have to say I quite enjoy it, I felt a tsunami of shame burying me for enjoying this audio and any other erotica audios or dark romance that much. It was not about the text or any specific kinks. I realized I felt ashamed and guilty for the fact that I love dark romance. I love the spicy scenes, the plots that make everybody blush. I love them all. So that was the time it hit me that maybe I should do a video to discuss it. Erotica audio set aside, I have always been a dark romance reader, or spicy romance reader, you could say. From the second I became an adult, or even before I hit 18 years old. 50 Shades was nothing. I recently finished a spicy dark romance called Lights Out. It's a stalker rom-com, which I didn't even know such a genre exists. Although some of the kinks are not really my cup of tea, I still enjoyed the book tremendously. And I was thinking when I was browsing my reading list after listening to the erotica audios and reading all the dark romance, why do we love dark romance? And why am I feeling ashamed of it? So a while ago, I was thinking about doing a PhD in social science and literature. The theme I was coming up with was a discussion of romance and how it evaluates through the years. For the longest of time, we as female audience and consumers are told that there is such a thing as true love, the one and only, irreplaceable love, person for each of us. Some might say it's a patriarchal ideology, but when it comes to dark romance, I think we should dive deeper here. Not only are the readers expecting a certain set of rules, an absolute masculine and eligible hero, but something about all the violence, the almost impossible sex scenes, and a strong emotional and physical connection, bonding, that I think can reflect a certain aspect of modern relationships, or should we say modern sexual desires. Maybe it's far more complicated than a Cinderella complex. During a time that sex and porn is so easy to find, a love story is just simply not enough. We want something painfully, consumingly, fearlessly romantic. And I think now is probably a good time to do a quick review of all 7 dark romance I recently finished in less than 2 or 3 weeks. We'll start with the last one I've read. First, we have Lights Out. Beautifully written, the plot was really good. It was well structured than a lot of dark romance. A bit funny. It was very enjoyable to read. Even for me who is not into the skeleton mask or stalking thing at all. I saw someone on Instagram saying the protagonist of this story, Josh, was the best book boyfriend ever, and I quite agree. He was without the layer of dark romance and the almost illegal activity in the plot. Josh was tall, handsome, loyal, possessive, quiet, taking care of you, with a good heart, everything a girl would love to see in a man. Then there was Promises and Pomegranates. I hope I got this right. I didn't expect such a plot about his history with her family, and I think the character is a little bit too simple and thin, as I cannot figure out what kind of person he or she really was. But they had great sexual chemistry, aka they were both horny every time they met with each other. But it was quite a good book. Then we have Inside Job, a great one-night stand turned true love trope. The sex scene was really spicy. All the things a dark romance lover would love. Fake fiance, office romance, happy ending. He was crazy about her. He was also her ex's brother. It was a great casual read if you got too depressed in life. Then we have Praise. It was dark, like sexually really dark. Not an ordinary love story. And I really like the titles of each chapter where they have all the rules, and it was kind of funny. But the plot didn't feel as spicy as they should be, because the build-up of the actual sex scene was too long, and by the time we got there, I already felt like we have lost the point. Or maybe it was just not my vibe, because I know there must be someone who really enjoys it. He was her ex's dad, which kind of felt weird. They did a variety of scenes with various props. If you have some certain kinks, you should read the introduction before the story and decide if you want to read it. Then we have Wrong Bad, Right Guy. I read some of the author K.T. Roberts' other works, all relatively short and sweet, and yes, it kind of felt a bit like porn, but the plot was great. She knows how to write a very good, steamy sex scene. That's all I'll say here. Then we have Mr. Prime Minister. This is the only book I have read a while ago, not recently. A change of taste from all the billionaire club owner setups. If you like imagining the male main character with a very strong British style, you should read it. And last, we have The Kiss Quotient. This is not a real dark romance, and it was published a few years ago. But I love the premise. She has Asperger, and she hired him to help her get more comfortable in love and intimate relationships. It was heartwarming, not that spicy, a very enjoyable rom-com. So I put it here for no reason at all. That was all the romance I can find on my iPad till yesterday. Now I'm still trying to have some sort of discussion here, so you can think of the next few minutes as my confession or me having a psychiatrical discussion with myself. I read an article on Washington Post about dark romance yesterday, which said female readers are deeply attracted to all the dangers that posed in dark romance. The killing, the mafia business, the kidnap, the forbidden love. But what we want was a safe environment to know that we are living in a romance story, a love story, not a true crime documentary. And the only difference between those two are the pure love and affection burying under the layer of spicy scenes and the crimes, the violence, the dark part. We are still looking for the impossible love in the most disturbing environment. That's part of the reasons why we love unrealistic dark romance and male characters. It was a dream for femininity, being protected, being loved, being understood, being filled with emotions, being told what to do, but in a good and loving way. So you don't have to be anxious about life. You don't have to worry about the world anymore because there is a man that can solve all your problems for you. All you have to do is existing. Then you can get the biggest reward in life. And that got me thinking, should we be punished for the love of such type of story? Of course not. But why did I feel guilty for loving it? Surely people all have their own kinks. As long as everyone's consent and adult and no one's hurt unwillingly, it should all be absolutely fine. But when I was writing the script for this video, I had an enlightenment. Maybe it has something to do with me growing up under East Asian culture or me as a woman in general. Because under the culture, we are told that women should be quiet, well-behaved, not showing their desire too much, not desiring for much more than what we are given or allowed to. And dark romance, in its core, has a set of rules regarding masculinity and femininity. He is strong and dark and twisted and sexy. She is beautiful and warm and smart and innocent, also not knowing that she is beautiful and smart and warm and innocent. It has its traditional elements in it, but the popularity of it proves that women today can have so many consuming products and choices to fulfill their dreams. We have books, audios, TV shows, even AI boyfriends. And I think the clashes of these two aspects is what leads to some confusion, at least for my case. I don't know what to do with my appetite for unrealistic, sexy stories, just as I don't know how to speak up my opinions or desires in front of a lot of people in real life. There is still a small voice deep in my head saying, you shouldn't love this, because it's not real. You will never meet someone like that. It's too unrealistic. So you should stop reading or listening to it. Otherwise, you're lying to yourself and engrossed in an illusory dream. That's maybe why I felt so guilty about. Maybe what I was feeling was self-judgment. Also, more on the guilty feeling. Sometimes I do think it makes me more confused when talking to men in real life. Because for me, I find it incredibly hard to flirt because I don't know how to, and I'm not sure if someone's flirting with me or just simply being nice. They better tell me, literally, in the exact word that I'm flirting with you. I'm sending you the signal, so catch it, please. Every time I listen to all the boyfriend audios or reading a dark romance, I will also think that, oh, this is so much different than what I've encountered in real life. Would I get to feel what they were feeling in the book? The absolute convinced feeling of being loved, being protected, being chosen, being accepted. I think from that aspect, the disparity makes me felt ashamed, maybe, of myself and my desire of being loved, the expectation of being loved so fearlessly that it's like living in a novel. I think to that aspect, that was maybe the main reason I felt what I did towards this genre. I am not sure if there is anyone out in the world who might have the same feeling as me. If there is, I would love to have a discussion on this matter. Though, judgment aside, I would say romance, dark romance, romantasy, whichever form that it comes and you like, provides the best self-indulging experience to relax after work or in an anxious environment. Because it's like a getaway, right? You open the books and you disappeared into a world that love in its purest form exists, and there is absolutely nothing else to worry about. And that's all for today's video. I know this might be a weird one, but I would love to explore more content about reading and life. So we're trying something new each week. So thank you for watching. I hope I didn't bore you. I already have a plan for next week's video because we will be talking about the greatest political satire show and novels in human history. I repeat, the greatest. There's no one else in my list of this genre. So stay tuned. See you next week. Bye bye.